Hi, this is Kate Northrup, author of Money, A Love Story, and as part of the launch of this book, I've asked some of my dear friends to come and share their money love story. Money is such a taboo topic, and one of the things I'm passionate about is getting more people to talk about it in a loving, honest, conscious way in public, powerhouses like yourself. This is my dear friend Alisa Vitti, who is the author, the best-selling author of Woman Code, and tell me the amazing subtitle of this book.
Perfect your cycle, amplify your fertility, supercharge your sex drive, and become a power source.
Amazing.
It's a lot for a book.
It's a lot. It's a freaking amazing book. I can't recommend it highly enough. It's really about working with your cycles and working with the endocrine system to do all those things. And Alisa is also the founder and CEO of flowliving.com, which is, how do you describe that?
It's a virtual women's health center. Basically,
Yes.
we have a platform that allows you to balance your hormones online, which is really cool.
Balance your hormones online. Who knew that you could even do that?
You can.
So your work
Yes.
is around women, obviously. And the area of the body, interestingly enough, that is related, the ovaries, the uterus, that whole area is the second chakra, which is an energy center in the body related to the way you interact with money, sex, and power in your life.
My favorite part of the body.
Interesting.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about that in a second, because I think it's no mistake that you've chosen this line of work. And there are some powerful things you're doing from a financial and business perspective that I want to touch on. But first, I'd love to hear, what did you learn about having to do with money growing up? Like, what did you witness? What was modeled for you?
You know, I learned that there was always enough, but that we had to be like very, organized about what was being spent on what. And so there wasn't this surplus, but I never noticed, sort of stress around money. But I did not really interact with it. The bills were kept in a separate room.
Okay.
I never knew what was going on with the money. It just, when we needed something, it just kind of happened. So I didn't learn anything about the administration of money and money management until I started my business.
Yeah.
Not even throughout university, No,
because nobody teaches you that.
Not really.
Well, most people anyway. And so you moved to New York, you graduated from Johns Hopkins, smarty pants, and moved to New York, got a job. And then you had this whole thing that happened with your health, and you started your center, you started your health coaching practice.
Right.
And then you had to learn about money because you were running the show.
Yeah, it was like one of those trial by fire lessons, in the trenches. And what happened really quickly was that I started taking on more and more responsibility in the business. I had employees, I had a space, I had all of these massive responsibilities, and the programming I received as a child about somehow that all magically gets taken care of, that really didn't work. So
the finance fairy didn't
around. Show up in the middle of the night while I was resting. Resting myself for the next day. No, that just didn't happen. Yeah. So I really had to get myself educated about how to become someone who is fiscally aware and responsible and organized. But there was this moment, like sort of my dark moment of the financial soul, where I remember, it was yet another day where there was mail that I had to collect in the mailbox, as one does. Right. And I kept noticing that the pile of bills kept growing unopened on my counter. And I just looked at that and I said, okay, I'm a grown woman. I should be able to sit down and open these pieces of mail. But I found myself getting very stressed and anxious and nauseous, and I thought, okay, we have to do a little bit of digging here to really just feel confident and comfortable that no matter what comes from a financial standpoint, that I have the resources and the personal wherewithal to navigate that. And that was a big sort of, let's say, energetic and psychological switch that I had to make, that I knew I had my own financial back. Right. And then the administrative stuff was easy after that.
Right.
That
so
was like
it was
a pleasure.
More of an emotional heart switch, mental shift.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you grow up in an environment where all that's being taken care of for you, it's sort of a little dysfunctional. And so I had to show
it's like kind of lovely, but
dysfunctional nonetheless.
Yeah.
And, you know, I needed to show up and be my own parent and do that sort of self-care around the finances, which was really...
It's amazing that you did that, because it's really set the stage now for being out there in a big way, not only as a figure for women's health, but also as a balls out businesswoman. Ovaries out. You know, a little anatomy lesson there.
It's all good. So, you know, it was part of the healing. As this financial healing was going on, so was my hormonal healing. This is in my early 20s. So the fact that those things happen at the same time is not coincidental. And I know you know that, and you sort of referenced that in the beginning about the second chakra.
Yes.
And it makes total sense. So many women struggle with their finances because so many women struggle with their hormonal health, their menstrual health, their fertility, their reproductive health. It's part of the same conversation, that foundation of who you are and how you operate. Which is
probably news to a lot, you know, to many of the people watching.
So, you know, that's why I was so excited about your book, because I just, you know, for me, it's going to be a teaching tool for women in the program, because they, you know, they need education on this, and this is your area. So I'll deal with the ovaries, you deal with the money. So, you know, it's, for me, it was set the stage for this growth that's happened. You know, I've had a business now for 12 years, and 2 years ago, I took on my first set of investors to really think about scaling, and I wouldn't even have had the ability to conceive of scaling a business to become an international brand, all the moving parts that go along with that. Had I not done the groundwork, set the right foundation with my relationship to money, you can't go and ask people for a lot of money if you aren't comfortable with that yourself. And, you know, I'm actually about to do another raise, and, you know, bigger amounts and bigger stakes and bigger and more. And it's really exciting, all that comes up as you go through these inflection points and growth points. And, you know, to me, it's just a great opportunity to keep pushing your relationship to money, that edge.
Exactly. Now, a follow-up question on that. Money is what we value. It's a stand-in for what we value. Right. And so when you are asking for money in exchange for the potential value of the business that you have created. I mean, you have birthed this business. It's phenomenal, all the work you've been doing. Do you sometimes have some things that come up around, like, is there any doubt that comes up? How do you deal with any self-worth stuff? You know, just on a practical level. Does that ever happen?
You know, every single time you pitch your business to investors, you have to find within yourself the place where you feel the most strong and grounded. So every single time that you do that, every single conversation that you have, it's an opportunity for you to reconnect to what you value about yourself. So instead of going into it with this sort of like self-doubt and fear, which is very easy to do, I have found, to me, it actually re-inspires me about the business. It reinvigorates me about the mission, and it makes me want to go after it even more.
That's so beautiful.
And I think it comes from having done a lot of the work on money. You know, I know we were in some workshops together back in the day when we first started.
Totally.
And I mean, it really all feeds in to what you feel you're capable of.
I love that.
And I love that you talk about money as a value sort of stand-in. And I would love to see more women playing with bigger amounts of money in their businesses, in their lives, because it's just going to sort of share this general value of expand our sense of self-value in a real tactical way. And we'll have more businesses in the world that are women owned and operated, that are crushing it and becoming these big brands that serve the world.
I love that. And I totally see you becoming one of those. And I mean, that's like 30 seconds away. So
I love your future predictions.
Absolutely. I'm totally a psychic. So thank you so much for sharing your story. If you want to find out more about Alisa, go to flowliving.com and definitely get her book, Woman Code. If you've got any whoosy what's it going on in your endocrine system, this book will help you. It's helped me profoundly. And, you know, as I've told you, I was raised in this world where, like, you actually pay attention to your cycle, and for whatever reason, some of the ways that you said it, I could hear it for the first time. And then if you want to, where's my book?
Get Kate's book. If you want to add to that health.
If you want to add to that health and wire in the money aspect of your well-being, go to moneyalovestory.com, grab this book, and when you do, you will get access to a course I'm teaching called A Course in Having Enough. It's a 2-hour online event with Marianne Williamson, Barbara Stanny, and Amanda Steinberg, who founded dailyworth.com. So we are going to have an awesome time. You need to come, and you can come by buying the book. So moneyalovestory.com. Thank you, Alisa, as always.
Such a pleasure.
So fun, so wise. Thank you.